Hey everyone, today I'm going to show y'all how I have transformed all of the knobs in our home from the original gold knob to a matte black finish. So I'm going to turn the camera around and show y'all the supplies you will need to do this project. Okay, so here are the supplies that I'm using. So you will want a drill if you have one. Don't get me wrong, this can be done with a screwdriver, but a drill definitely makes it easier. I do have a Phillips head screwdriver because the screws in my knob are Phillips head, and a couple pieces of painter's tape. You also need a can of spray paint, but I will show y'all that once we start painting. Okay, the first thing you want to do is locate the screws on your knob. Now I've already kind of loosened mine. Mine are on the outside, and this is where the lock is inside the bedroom. So the screws on mine are on the outside. You'll want to take your screwdriver and begin loosening your screws. Like I said, I've already kind of got mine loose, and once they come out so far, I will usually just do the rest with my hands. So you want to remove the screws all the way, and that will allow you to take your knob out. Doesn't take very long at all. So there's one side out, and then the other side out. The next thing you want to do is remove the latch. Now this is where a drill comes in handy, especially because you can get to these screws much easier than you could the other ones, and it just makes it so much easier. Okay, so those are out, and you just pop it out like that. So now our knob is removed. Okay, I am also taking off the latch on the door jamb where the knob goes into the wall. So I will also remove this with the drill. All done. Okay, the next thing you want to do is clean your doorknob. Now, it's really important because you don't want to paint over dirt and grime. So what I'm doing is just using some Windex that's sitting around. If yours is really grimy, maybe use like a Clorox wipe, but this has been working perfect just to get the fingerprints and stuff off of it. So we'll clean it, and then I'll show you how I set up to paint it. Quick note before I show you the painting setup. I am on number like 9 or 10 interior knob in our home, and which is the last one that I have to do. All the others are exterior door knobs, but I will say the first couple of knobs that I painted, I did lightly sand, but I'm still getting the same finish when I'm not sanding them. So take that for what it's worth. If you want to lightly sand them, go for it, but I feel like it's a step that's not necessary if you're going to get the same result. Here is our painting setup, which is simply a cardboard box. Now what you're gonna do is take your components of your knob, like here's our latch, and you're just gonna stick it right down in the box. Our locking mechanism, just stick it right in the box. Other half of the knob, right in the box. I'll go get the screws and just stick right down in there. So like I said, this is like knob 9 or 10 for me, so I figured out all the easy way to do everything. This is just going to allow you to see your knob at a better angle and get a good coat and not miss anything on the first try. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, it is a little bit too windy to be spray painting, but I've found a good spot where it's not gonna be a big deal. Here is your fair warning. Do not set up next to your house or your vehicle or anything that you do not want to get spray paint on, especially when it's windy like this. Now, if you get spray paint on your stuff, I warned you, so you can't come after me. So kind of feel out which direction the wind is blowing and set up accordingly. All right, so I moved the angle of the camera a little bit just so we don't get any overspray on the camera. Now this is the spray paint we're going to be using. This is Rustoleum Universal Satin All-Surface Paint and Primer in black. Now they do have this in a high gloss finish as well as a hammered finish, and it comes in tons of different colors like gold and bronze and brass and silver and all kinds of stuff. So whatever your color and your finish desire is, they've got you covered. So I will step in front of the camera now and show you how to properly spray paint. Okay, so here we go with spray painting. What you want to do is shake your can really well and remember to do quick white sprays. Okay, you don't want to just hold it down because then you'll get a bunch of paint and you'll have like streaks and you can see where the paint ran. So you want to do quick light sprays like this. And that really evenly covers everything, and your box really comes in handy because you can see all angles of the knob. We are back inside, and before I show y'all how to put the knob back on, I want to mention dry time for that spray paint. So in my experience, it is dry to the touch in about 3 to 4 hours. But the one that I just spray painted, it is almost noon here. I will let it dry probably overnight just to be on the safe side. Now you could pick it up in 3, 4, 5 hours, but I don't want to risk getting fingerprints on it, so I will just pull it in the garage, let it dry overnight before I mess with it and put it back on the door tomorrow. Now before I show y'all how to put the knob back on, I want to make it clear that this is not the same knob that we just spray painted. I kind of have a knob in rotation, and by that I mean I take one off, I spray paint it, but I've already got one done. So like I spray painted the one that I'm holding that's black and I'm able to touch, it's not fresh paint. I spray painted this one yesterday, let it dry overnight, and brought it in to show y'all how to do this. So we're gonna put this knob and all its components back on. Okay, we're gonna start by putting the latch on. So there's the latch in. Make sure your drill's going the right way. And the screw. Okay, so that's done. It might seem obvious, but you want to make sure your latch is in first before you put your knob in, because your knob has to go through the inside part of this latch. The important thing with the locking knob is to ensure that you get the locking mechanism on the correct side of the door. So this is the outside of the door, so we want our lock to go on this side of the door. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in. And then the non-locking part, we will slip back on this side. Boom, just like that. Now we've got to get the screws in the knob. So I just tighten these by hand first for the first couple turns, and then we will get our screwdriver out. Now I use a screwdriver for this part because if you'll remember, these are really difficult to get to, even with a screwdriver, much less a drill. So just hand tighten these, and then I will grab the screwdriver. Now here is where our painter's tape comes into this project. So this is obviously a finished knob and we don't want it to get scratched up by the side of our screwdriver. So what you want to do is just take off a small piece like this and put it on the side where you are going to be using the screwdriver to tighten up these screws. So I've got the tape on, and as you can see, these are a little bit hard to reach, and my screwdriver is hitting the side of the knob, but our tape is protecting the knob from being scratched by the screwdriver. So just want to go ahead and tighten your screws down. And then you can remove your tape and your knob should be in perfectly fine. Okay, knob is in, it's nice and secure. Just take your tape off and you're done with your knob. Our last and final step is to put the latch on the door jamb here, or the latch cover, I guess I should say. So you just line it up with your holes and screw it in. All right, so let's test out our new knob. Works perfect. So a couple things to finish up this video. Number one, that spray paint is like $6 a can at my local hardware store. And I'm able to get like 5 or 6 knobs out of one can. So that's like $1 a piece. And I have priced new knobs in that black color and they're like 20 bucks a piece. So I don't even have 20 bucks invested in all of my interior knobs, which is about 10. So I think that in itself is a great way to save some money and do some little DIY projects here and there. It is super fun and I really enjoy doing them. Number two, that paint has proven to be really durable. We've been in the house about a month and my first knob I did was about 3 weeks ago. And we touch those knobs every day and I haven't noticed a single scratch or any paint peeling, anything like that. Granted, it is only 3 weeks, but I've also heard great things about the paint lasting forever. And number 3, as far as like why I love this project, is it doesn't take any time. It takes a couple minutes to take your knob off, a couple minutes to spray paint it. You just let it sit in your garage and dry overnight, and then only a couple minutes to put back on the next day. So while it's sitting out drying, you can be doing other little fun projects around the house, which is what I've personally been doing. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and if you did, share it with your friends. I love doing this type of stuff, and if you have any content suggestions, like any other little projects you would love to see, let me know.